Hey everyone, Lisa Pride here for the Florida State League Network, and I'm alongside the voice of the Palm Beach Cardinals and the Jupiter Hammerheads, Brennan Erlandsen. Thank you so much for joining me, Brennan.
Of course.
All right, so I get to join you, a couple of times during the week on the broadcast, and it's been a pleasure. What has the Florida State League, experience been like for you this season? And you are, we get to call two teams, like the only, ballpark, the only broadcasters that call two teams. What's that like for you?
I certainly get my reps in. I certainly get all my innings. We always have a game here 6 days a week, and having to get the information down for two teams seems like a lot. And the one only bummer is that I don't get to go on the road with these guys, but I make up for that by having a game 6 days a week. It's been a great experience, and it's been an amazing opportunity for me in my career.
And as far as your journey then to get here, what's been your broadcast career so far?
I started broadcasting at Hofstra University, where I graduated, and I was with the student radio station. It's one of the best in the country, maybe the best in the country. And that's where I got my start, doing several different kinds of sports, but I always knew that I wanted to do baseball. And the baseball opportunities there were a little bit limited as far as the Hofstra baseball team is concerned. Got to do a little bit of Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic League. That was also a good first pro experience a little bit, got a little bit of a sprinkle there. Then I went to the Port Angeles Lefties of the West Coast League doing summer collegiate baseball, and that was a mixed bag, but that was where I really wanted to take this on as a career. Then it was 2 years with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs behind the scenes. I was a pregame and postgame show host, and I was running the radio board behind the scenes. And then in 2022, I was the number 2 voice of the Gateway Grizzlies in the Frontier League under the tutelage of Jason Garrett, who is the voice of the Grizzlies there still. And then after an off year last year, I'm here in the Florida State League, and it's been a blast.
And we're so glad to have you here, so blessed. And every day I get to see your hard work and your passion for the game. Why do you love the game of baseball so much? Why is this the career path you want to take?
It's a long, complicated answer, but basically what it dwindles down to is I love baseball more than myself. So this is what I've always wanted to do. I think the seed was planted at me pretty young, probably 5 or 6, and then once I started playing baseball at 7, I knew that this was the thing that I would love the most. The actual broadcasting of it didn't come until later. I've always wanted to play. Every kid who plays baseball wants to be a pro baseball player, and that just wasn't it for me, unfortunately. But over the later teenage years and now into my 20s, I've really found this avenue where I basically do the thing that I do every day in life, and that is talk baseball. But here I get to be paid to do it, and I get to watch baseball and have the best seat in the house and just talk about it. That's the job. It's pretty awesome.
I think I know exactly how you feel. And then as far as advice, like the best advice that you've received for broadcasting, and then the advice that you give out when people ask too.
I try not to give too much advice. I'm not as experienced, but I just know that you gotta capitalize on the opportunities when you get them. Sometimes the door is open for only a little bit, and in this business it's so competitive and it's so grueling. So many people want to be in pro baseball, and even more want to make it to the show eventually, like myself, and it's arguably harder with the limited number of seats. You have to love this. There's no way that you do this without loving it, because otherwise the grind is gonna kill you, and you're not going to make it much further if you don't have the ability to have to go anywhere in the country or the world to be able to do this, or put in that work that nobody sees behind the scenes in the course of an everyday work life in order to get on air. Broadcasting specific advice, I'm sure I've gotten so many notes in that, but I remember my grandfather saying to me once that in the beginning of your career, you're often not going to be paid enough for the amount of work that you do, but if you do more than what you're paid for earlier, you'll get paid for more than what you do later. And then, while that is talking a little bit about money, and I don't do this for money, I do this because this is what I want to do, but it is a message that you put in the work when you're young, and then as you keep putting in that effort, you keep meeting the right people, more and more opportunities are going to open up, and then it's your chance to just strike when the iron's hot. When the door's open, go in there and take it. Don't wait for somebody to give it to you.
I think your grandfather has great advice, and so do you. Thank you so much for joining me off the mic.
Absolutely.